Good morning. Today is Tuesday, October 13th. Today we are going to solve 4-digit by 1-digit multiplication word problems using strip diagrams and partial products. So, first, I want you to do a partial product speed round. So what I want you to do is I want you to write down multiplication problems 1 digit times 3 digits. And I want you to go ahead and break them apart and do as many as you can. Remember, you're breaking up the hundreds, the tens, and the ones. Okay, so let's look at this example. We have 3 times 2,451, right? So that means that there would be 3 groups there, and then 2,451 groups over here. So a lot of little teeny tiny squares. So on this one, we're going to have to break it into 3 sections. Or I'm sorry, this one we're going to have to break down into 4 sections because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 place values. The 3, we don't need to break down. It should be good to go. So if we were going to do expanded notation or expanded form on 2,451, what would that look like? So remember, expanded form is where you just separate the place values. So I would have 2,000 plus 400 plus 50 plus 1, right? So that's how we would split it. 2,450 and 1. Okay. So now we can look at it like this where it's already split for us. So now what makes this super simple is all we have to do is multiply in the boxes. So this would be 3. Let me grab a pen. This would be 3 times 2,000. This would be 3 times 400. This would be 3 times 50, and finally 3 times 1. So we could go through and solve it. So 3 times 2,000, we could think about our ones, or 0 rule. 3 times 2 is 6, and then 3 zeros. So that makes sense, right? 3 groups of 2,000. So we could skip count 2,000s 3 times. So 2,000, 4,000, 6,000. 3 times 400, so 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2, so 3 times 400. 3 times 50, 3 times 5 is 15, so 150, add that 0, and 3 times 1 is 3. Then all we have to do is add those together 2 at a time. So 6,000 plus 1,200, 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 2 is 2, 6 plus 1 is 7. So I've got this one and that one. Now I need to add 150. 0 plus 0 is, I'm running out of space. 0. 0 plus 5 is, you know what, let's do it over here so that we don't, that's not a good idea. So let's do 7,200 plus 150. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 5 is 5. 2 plus 1 is 3. 7 plus 0 is 7. And then plus 3. So that would be 3, 5, 3, 7. So our answer would be 7,353. That would be a lot of little teeny tiny squares to count. We don't want to have to do all that. So I want you to go ahead and do this one on your own. Okay, so your answer should have been 26,170. So go ahead and pause the video, compare your work to my work, just to double check yourself. All right, now we're going to apply this to word problems. So when we do word problems, we're going to think get and strip diagrams. So get, groups, each, total. That's what get stands for. Groups, each, total. So let me show you how this works. So let's look at this word problem here. It says Mrs. Pena bought 3 pumpkins. 3 were orange and 1 was white. Each pumpkin had 325 seeds in it. How many seeds were in all of the pumpkins? So first of all, what's important information to know? Well, it's important that I bought 3 pumpkins, and we want to know how many seeds were in all of the pumpkins. So we're looking for seeds in all of the pumpkins, right? So do we care what color the pumpkin was? No, so that's not important. I'm not going to underline that. But each pumpkin had 325 seeds in it. Okay, so when we think of get groups, each and total, so our groups would be the 3 pumpkins. There are 325 in each group, and the total, we don't know. That's what we're trying to find. So when we make this a strip diagram, it would have 2 pieces to it. So the bottom piece is going to be our total. We don't know that yet. And then our total is going to be composed of 3 groups with 325 in each group. So I could break this into 3 sections and put 325 in each section. Another way that we could think about this is we could take the pumpkin and we could put we had 2 orange and 1 white. So that's where those, I don't know what's going on. That's where those pumpkins came from. Those 2 orange and that 1 white one. So to solve this, we would do 325 times 3. So go ahead and solve that on your own, please. Okay, so your answer should have been 975. So now, let's look at another one. It says Ling is buying computers for her office. She bought 4 computers that were $1,254 each. How much money did she spend? So let's think about our important information. So it's important to know that she bought 4 computers, and they were $1,254 each, and we want to know how much money she spent. So once again, we can think groups, each, total. So how many groups do we have? 4. Those are the computers. Each group is 1,254, and we don't know our total. That's what we're trying to find. So that means when we make our strip diagram, our total is what we're trying to find, and we have 4 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4 that are 1,254 each. Remember, those groups represent each of these computers here. So that means to solve this problem, we're going to do 1,254 times 4. Go ahead and solve that on your own, please. Okay, your answer should be 5,016. So go ahead, check your work against mine and see, make sure you're right. Okay, so this very last one I want you to do on your own. It says Susan is giving backpacks to 5 lucky schools. She plans to give 2,314 backpacks to each school. How many backpacks will she need to complete this task? So go ahead and complete this one on your own. Okay, the answer to this question should have been 11,570. If you did not get that answer, and if you're available, I'd love for you to come visit me at 1:30 today so that we could go over this together. You can also keep working on it until you figure out how to get 1,570. Okay, the last thing I need for you to do is your DOL. So please make sure you are getting that done in your Google Classroom, and let me know if you have any questions. I hope you have a fabulous day.